Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Monday edition of the JP Peterson Show as we're coming to you live from our Orlando affiliate here. Got the Christmas tree behind me. We're all in the Christmas spirit. Just back from Nashville, the weekend in Nashville with my daughter Shang. So hope you guys had a great weekend. I think we all had a great weekend watching the Saints beat the Panthers. How about that? Good morning to you, Nick Geddes. How are you?
I am doing good. Like you mentioned, this was in many ways, both positive, negative, a seismic day in the NFL yesterday. When you look at all of the results, the injuries that took place across the league, which was insane. And then, of course, the NFC South, you know, the Bucs are just dying to be put out of their misery almost. And the Carolina Panthers just refuse to do it. They just refuse to do it. They are such an enigma, and that sets up a big-time matchup this Sunday for first place in the NFC South. But I got to tell you, I'm such a sicko. You would think that after Thursday night, you know, that wound is still fresh, by the way. You would think after Thursday night I'd want nothing to do with Buccaneer football for a little while. And what did I do? I spent the time by watching all 10 episodes of the Raise the Flags documentary. I caught up on that this week. I caught up on that this weekend. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic, might I add.
Yes.
But also reminding that, man, there were a lot of hardships with this franchise over the years. And
a lot of great teams too. A lot of great teams too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I still got my Buccaneers fix in, even though they were not playing this weekend.
Well, as I was trying to explain on Friday is, and really all week since I got the advanced copies, is like you what you inevitably do is compare this team to teams of the past. And unfortunately, you go to the teams that weren't very successful. And then, you know, the fallout from Thursday night still feels very fresh. You know, just on social media, there was the video of Vita Vea coming off the field with Antoine Winfield Jr. and Hassan Reddick, and they were all sniping at each other. And we have talked about the great culture on this team, or what we thought was great culture on this team for, you know, since the training camp, since before training camp, the OTAs. And now it's apparent that that's not the case. And listen, so often chemistry is defined by winning and vice versa. And nobody has great chemistry when they're losing, right? But they always have great chemistry when they're winning. And that's part of it, really, right? And right now you're starting to see that sniping going on. You see it in the body language of the players, not only on the field, but coming off the field. They're supremely frustrated, and why wouldn't they be? When you're losing games that you should win, you're making dumb mistakes after dumb mistakes. You know, Zion jumping offside that gives the Falcons new life, and they score a touchdown instead of a field goal, 4 points. Oh, would that have come in play? Yes. And it has to be a level of frustration. I mean, we're just invested in watching this team, right? We're invested in watching. Can you imagine working your ass off? Like, as much as these guys work, I mean, obviously they get as much time off as you possibly could have and more from Todd Bowles, which has always been a sore spot for me, especially with the team that looks completely unprepared at times. But yet we got to give them more time off than on the off week. Nope, everybody go, leave, let's go, you know, do whatever the hell you want to do. And then you come back after the bye week and you look like you've never practiced. It's okay giving guys time off and I understand it's just a couple of days, but does this team look like they could use a couple more days in the facility? Yeah, like a lot more days in the facility. You're playing well. I'm all for it. But when you're playing like crap and you're missing assignments and you're making mental errors, you don't need less time off. You don't need more time off. You need less time off. And then just the whole way that game was played. And then you see the national outcry. You know, you're now that the Colin Cowherds and a lot of other Jim Rome weighing in, all the national pundits weighing in on where the Bucs are headed, and that's south. And I don't mean south in an NFC South championship kind of way. I mean, the crazy thing is they still have everything ahead of them. And the Panthers certainly aren't an impressive team. The Saints certainly aren't an impressive team. You just got beat by the Falcons and the Saints, two teams you definitely should have beaten. And the Bucs got a lot of problems. And so where does this, and I've been thinking about this all weekend long, where does this stem from? Why is this team suddenly, Antoine Winfield Jr. saying we got stuff in-house to clean up. There are issues in-house. And where do I think this comes from? I think it comes from a lack of confidence in the coaching staff. I think these players just don't believe in the coaching staff anymore. I think Grizzard has not shown the genius of Liam Cohen. And then look what Liam Cohen's doing. What they hang 48 on the Jets, 48 on the Jets,
Yeah.
A team we could barely beat with what I would argue is less of a roster than the Bucs have. And I think a lot of these guys on offense see that and they're like, oh, you roll your eyes a little bit on defense. It's clear that Bowles has no clue how to stop teams. He's at a wit's end. So what happens is the guys lose confidence in their coaching staff. They're clearly not playing hard. The effort level and the physicality is non-existent on this team, which is why they had to, admittedly had to bring in a 37-year-old guy. And then, and Bowles goes crazy in the post game with his frustrating, which I kind of really enjoyed, finally hearing a little bit of piss off. And we've always heard that he does this behind closed doors. But damn it, let's see it in public. Let's see it in public for once. And here's another thing, Nick, and I hear this a lot, and Coward went there, and I think to some degree Rome went there as well, that he was blaming the players. And as we know, that's not true. That particular soundbite certainly showed that. And I think a lot of fans said that. But if you know Todd Bowles, he takes as much blame as he does the players. I think in that moment, it was obviously he was frustrated with the players, as he should be. And I like the fact that he called out his players. But in other contexts, he said, we got to coach it better. It's on us as well. So he did say that. That just wasn't part of that particular rant. So I want to give him some grace on that. And I think it's fair. Because Todd Bowles is not a guy, he's not the guy to throw his players under the bus, as we all know. We'd like to see it more, actually, more public accountability, at least for me. So I'm okay with all that. I don't know how you guys are. I don't want to, there's a lot to pick on with Todd Bowles and the way he coaches his team, in my opinion. That's not one of them. And I think from a national perspective, I get it. You're just dipping in. You see the rant. It sounds like he's blaming the players. That's not who he is. We know that. But all in all, this team is a dumpster fire. And you got a game coming up with Carolina at Carolina, where now they're going to be super pissed off, and they're going to play physical. Do I expect the Bucs to win this game? Hell no, I don't expect them to win this game. I don't think they're going to be able to stop Dowdle. I don't think they'll be able to stop the Panthers' run game, and I don't think they can stop Bryce Young. They can't stop anybody at this point. If there was anything that was interesting in this game, as I thought, and we've said, Tyler Shook is a pretty good quarterback. I like him.
Yep.
28 of 34 yesterday, 280 something plus a tutty. That kid can play. The way he releases the ball, he's got a big time arm. But anyway, about the Bucs, this is, they got a chance. Here's the thing. They got a chance. They got every chance in the world to go win this division and right the ship. It's right there in front of them. Will they do it? Doubtful, in my opinion. Show me you can pull this all together. Right now, this is a team in utter disarray, and I don't expect them to win another game, quite frankly. Where are you at?
It's hard. It's hard to think they will, but that's the crazy part is even after the disaster of Thursday and the disaster of 4 days prior to that last Sunday, two horrible losses in the last 8 days, nothing has changed in their situation. Nothing has changed. And that's the crazy part of this is the NFC South is just such a dumpster fire. I mean, just about every year that we're talking about the team that wins this game on Sunday is going to have sole possession of first place and, the upper hand on trying to at 8-7. That means the team that loses is going to be 7-8. Yeah. Like, think about that. Like, that's what we're talking about here. So as exciting as this is almost just like, this is not how you want to see these things decided, but it is what it is. That's just the situation that the NFC South is in. So what happened on Thursday, Bowles' comments and everything, I appreciated him doing it. I did. And I know that there was that side of Todd Bowles in him, and he never wanted to come to the podium and be like that. It just feels like it's a little too late in the game for it. I think that was the whole thing. Like, that seemed like a speech that you needed weeks ago, not now. But beyond Todd Bowles, you saw what really irritated me about that game was, he called out some players about, you got to, when he went on that rant about, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. You got to realize that this is not just a game. This is your job. This is your effing livelihood and all these things. And I feel like no player epitomized that more than Mike Evans, who broke his collarbone age 32. And we didn't think we were going to see him this early. At least I didn't. And this guy busted his ass to get back in the lineup to play meaningful football here in December and try to will this team to a division championship. And he did everything he could and then some on Thursday, by the way. But he busted his ass to get back, and that's the result that he got. And you saw the frustration boil over. I have never seen Mike Evans come unhinged like that. I've never seen that. On the sideline, when he was inevitable that Zane Gonzalez was going to kick that field goal to win that football game, and then in the tunnel after the game, slamming his helmet, just screaming out loud, 3rd and 28, 3rd and 28. How does that happen? 4th and 14. And I think I heard, too, that there was some screaming going on in the locker room. I don't know who that was exactly, but that's something that you usually don't see.
We heard it in the post-game presser, where the press room it's right adjacent to the locker room. There's just one door between us. And there was a lot of throwing helmets and yelling and screaming going on. Yeah.
You saw the video coming off the field.
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah. You saw the video coming off the field. 3 guys on that defense who are getting paid a lot of money and are supposed to be stepping up. And that's Vita Vea, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Hassan Reddick. Thought that was a pretty interesting exchange. I'm sure everybody's seen the video, those 3 guys walking off the field. And listen, it was fresh. They're just coming off the field after blowing that lead. Of course they're frustrated, right? So I don't want to make it a bigger deal than what it is, but clearly Vita Vea is frustrated with Hassan Reddick. Antoine Winfield looked frustrated with Hassan Reddick. I don't really know what's going on that front. You see Tristan Wirfs Tristan Wirfs couldn't even sum it up at all. He just looked like he literally could not believe what had taken place on that field on Thursday night. You saw Emeka Ibuka's comments after the game where he's talking about, it's clear that there's some issues in our stuff that we got to get corrected. And it's like, well, what are these problems? And he's talking about we got to get it hashed out. And he admits there's problems. What are these problems? We were led to believe that everybody loved each other. And this was just this great, kumbaya going on in the locker room. And we've talked a lot about that, the culture being great and everything. And all of a sudden you lose all these games and you got players talking about there's problems.
Yeah.
And I think, and it seems like they go deeper than what you see on the field. It seems like it goes deeper than it is on the field. And, Bowles gets a lot of the blame from us, from the fan base, from a lot of people, rightfully so. But let me say this. It's not all on Todd Bowles, and he's not wrong.
Hell no.
There's no explanation for some of the stuff that these players, particularly on defense, are doing during the game. There's no explanation for it. Mm-hmm. I can't come up here and explain to you why on 4th and 14, Kendall Vildor, who, while a backup, is still a veteran in this league, I cannot explain why he's just sort of drifting, at 10 yards in front of the first down marker on 4th and 14 and letting David Sills go right by him. And he's trying to protect for Bijan Robinson in the flat, knowing damn well that if Bijan Robinson gets the ball, well, he still has to run 15. He's still got to run 15 yards. Yeah, but everybody's going to try to, converge on him, and you're going to at least have a chance. I'd rather die that way, I guess, than just give them an easy over-the-top pass to David Sills. And I can't explain what Kendall Vildor is doing on that play. I can't explain Zion. I can't explain.
But he has the flat. Here's my point on that, is that when you run that cover 2 defense, which is what I believe they were in, and you rush 4, there's a honey hole right behind the corner in front of the safety. And if you don't pressure the quarterback, they're going to put it right in that hole. If you have a decent arm, if you have an NFL arm, and Kirk Cousins does, that's an easy play. That's you're high-low in the corner. And if he backs up, you pitch it to Bijan. And guess what? He's probably going to get the 14. One-on-one with Kendall Vildor, because you think a linebacker's getting over there in time? And even if
probably
he does,
not.
Do you think any of those linebackers are tackling Bijan Robinson? No.
Probably not.
No. The only way to get off that field was to pressure the quarterback, and that's why I pressured Bowles on that. And what was the answer? Oh, you just can't blitz on 4th and 14. They'll screen it out to Bijan, and they'll go for a touchdown. Well, you end up losing anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what and every time you went up 2, and it wasn't earlier in the game when you go up 2 scores with 10 minutes left, and then you still do the same thing. You rush 4, no blitzing, and you let them go right down the field for a touchdown. That's when this is why this team never blows anybody out. Because when you're playing good defense and you're rushing the passer and you're getting home and you're affecting Cousins and you're winning the game like every other team does in this league, we're the only one that rushes 4 and sits back and lets Kirk Cousins pick them apart. We're the only team that allows that. And that's why this is the only team he has success against. And you keep doing the same shit over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And if I was the players, I'd be pissed. I'm like, why are we calling this crappy defense? Why do we not stay aggressive? How many games do we need to watch this when you go up 2 scores and you back off and rush 4, which I'm listening to Gerald McCoy do his hey Bucks fan. Well, Todd Bowles called the right defense, but even though we can't rush the passer, we can't cover in zone. Well, then if you're contradicting yourself, Gerald, if we can't rush the passer with 4 and we can't play zone, why the hell are you calling that defense? That's the perfect defense. 2 things you can't do. Seems like that's not a perfect defense. That's not the right call.
Yeah. My point was, it's like, I put blame on the players too, because, we talked even the week prior against New Orleans, like, you got to have some pride in your own play. You got to have some pride in your own team that, you're not going to let this crap happen anymore. We're going to make a stop. We're talented. I think they are talented. Baker Mayfield said they're talented, but you can't just show up on Sunday because you're talented and expect to win every game.
Well,
that's not how this league works.
Look at the plays that weren't made, Nick. I mean, how many do we need to list? You're talking about the players. Levante scraped the ball from Darnell Mooney. It's sitting right there on the ground.
Yeah, there's 6 guys in front of the ball, and somehow they're Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is like the smallest guy on the field. Somehow gets the football. I can't explain that. I don't really know. I still don't understand the call about the Hassan Reddick strip sack where they said that both teams possessed it at the same time. I can't make sense of that. So that just adds on to it. There's always
we're not
just
blaming the refs.
But we're not blaming the refs. Exactly.
No.
We're not doing that. But it's just one of those things where anything that can go wrong, it's going wrong right now for this football team. And I thought this was a telling thing because this has to do with, scheme and stuff like that and what Todd Bowles is calling. I don't know if you saw this, JP, but Rondé Barber on his show this past week, and Pewter Report did a write-up on it. And I had a quote here. I don't know if you saw this, but I was going to read it real quick. I thought this was a pretty damning thing. He said, "This team does not have a base defense that we can rely on and watch." And he said, we had a base defense back in the day, played cover 2. Anything was going wrong, we were like, let's just go to cover 2. We had any doubt, just go to cover 2. We did a whole bunch of other stuff. Yes, we played 3 deep, we played quarters, we blitzed a ton, but we had a base defense. This team does not have a base defense.
Well, they have one. It's the same one that they had, the cover 2, except they could play it and these guys can't. They have no clue how to play it. And they can't get pressure with 4.
Right.
You could, if you can't get pressure with 4 at all, then you can't play the defense. You just can't.
Right.
Because
I agree with you completely.
This league will pick you apart. Plus, we don't know how to play zone in the back end. For whatever reason, these guys do not know how. I see other teams play zone, and the receivers are not running wide open. They're just not, because they know how to play match up. Their individual technique within the zone is so much better. These guys either aren't being taught it or can't execute it. One of the two. But it doesn't matter.
And the point is, you could put some of this on the players for sure, but at the end of the day, you're the head coach. Right. And everything that happens on the field, the last time I checked, is a reflection of the head coach, the coaching staff, and getting your team ready to play. No? That's always been the thing in the NFL and in football across all levels. Everything that happens on that field is a reflection of you. And this isn't an isolated year. We've seen these issues last year. We saw them the year before. We saw them the year before that, even when they won the Super Bowl. Until they got hot at the end, they weren't playing up to their capability more often than not. The trend with Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers is it feels like every third game or every fourth game or something like that, he'll put together this Picasso performance where he's blitzing the crap out of the opposing quarterback and they're getting home for all these things and they're forcing turnovers. And we're like, wow, look at what Todd Bowles schemed up today. Yeah. But it happens, like I said, it's like once every 4 games or something like that. It doesn't happen. And every other game is literally like the lowest end of the spectrum of what you can do as a defense in the National Football League. Like that to me is the issue. Like there's no like middle ground. There's no such thing as the Bucs playing average on defense. They either have a game where they play tremendous or they have a game where they are just awful. And right now they've put together about 6 or 7 weeks of straight awful football on that side of the field.
Rick has a great quip here this morning. It says, who wants to win the NFC South? The friggin' Squid Games of the NFL. Let's go, script writers. Clean this shit show up. Right? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Absolutely brutal. James says, I remember advocating for Jim Harbaugh years ago. Coaching matters. Chargers, both all-pro tackles out. No real star at wide receiver. And they play solid D and they run the ball. How different would the Bucs be with him? Very different. Very, very different. All right, we'll get to more comments here a little bit after we chat with Brian Bradley. So we'll take a quick break. We're going to head on out to Benchmark International Arena, and Brian Bradley's going to join us, and we'll talk about this Lightning team that remains on top in the Atlantic East. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. If you just give them a call, they will they'll help you out with a free case evaluation, folks, and whatever your legal issues are, they'll take care of you. JeevesLawGroup.com, non-attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. And we're brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. They have 30 days of giving going on in December, where they are giving away a $500 shopping spree each and every day. All you got to do is head on over there and sign up. And if you take a test drive or have them appraise your car, they will put 10 entries in there for you for the daily shopping spree. So, and also, by the way, first 3 payments waived on new cars, and then you have one more payment that they will make for you. All right, quick break. Back with Brian Bradley when we come back.
At Genesis of Tampa, they got some serious ho-ho-ho going on this Christmas. It's the Miracle Holiday Sales Event and their 30 days of giving. First, for any new vehicle in the month of December sold, first payment will be deferred 90 days, and then the dealership will make the first payment up to $500. That can save you a lot of cash that you can use for Christmas shopping. And every day in December, they're giving away a $500 shopping spree. All you got to do is have your car appraised, and you get an entry into the daily drawing for the $500 shopping spree. And every weekend day in December, customers simply need to stop by the dealership, scan the QR code, and they get an entry into the $500 shopping spree contest. No purchase necessary. Test drive a vehicle, and we will 10x your entry into the shopping spree. Christmas and New Year's Eve, each holiday, if a customer books a test drive for the specified day, they will receive a themed t-shirt, limited edition, as well as an additional $250 off the purchase price. Bottom line is, get your butt and your sleigh down to Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, just off 275. It's going to be a big Christmas at Genesis of Tampa. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour, as well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucks play. We'll see you there. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years, where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the Monday edition of the JP Peterson Show as we roll on here. We talk some Bucks. We'll do a little bit more of your comments when we come back. By the way, Nick, I'm getting a little feedback. There's something to change something. But let's welcome in our good friend Brian Bradley, who's coming to us live from Benchmark International Arena, where the Lightning will take on the Panthers tonight. Stinking Panthers. What's up, Brian? How are you, buddy?
What's up, guys? Hi, JP. How are you doing tonight? I'm at the morning skate right now. The boys are on the ice. I'll flip the camera here in a second, but obviously it's a big game tonight. We're playing the Florida Panthers. That's all I have to say about that. It's a rivalry game. It's an intense game. It's a physical game. We played them once already this season. We beat them 3-1, so I'm sure Florida's ready to go tonight, but you know what? So will we. You know what? Just like I said, I'm at the morning skate right now. I'll flip the camera on. Vazzy's on the ice right now. I don't know if he's going to be backing up. He's not playing tonight. Johansson's in net because he's down in the starting position down there. So, he's played really well the last 4 or 5 games for us. Unbelievable in goal for us right now. But you know what? Like I said, Ryan McDonough's on the ice.
Oh, wow.
He looks skating. He's right there at center ice right now. Ryan McDonough, the Big Mac.
Nice.
Vazzy's in net right down here. He's not. I don't know. I don't even think he'll dress tonight. But he's taking shots. He actually looks good. So I would say he's close to playing Thursday because he looks good in net. There's a nice save by Vazzy right there. But guys are coming in shooting the puck on him right now. But got a couple extra guys. Carl's up. Santini's up. We got some injuries obviously with Hedman being out probably until February with an elbow injury. So see what happens. with that whole situation. But, the team played really good. Obviously they lost the game in Toronto. Then they went to Montreal, won in Montreal. Then they won in New Jersey. Then they lost in overtime against the Islanders, which the Islanders have had our number lately. And, Sorokin and that's been outstanding. But obviously tonight we're playing Bobrovsky. We all know about him. Florida's been hot and cold. They've won their last game in Dallas 4-0. I guess Bob played pretty good, but the Panthers played good, but they got beat up pretty bad in Colorado. They lost 6-2 the other night. So, it's going to be a good game tonight. But you know what? The big guys hope they're in the lineup. Curtis Douglas and Sabern. I love the way those guys bring some size and some toughness to the lineup. And, I'm sure Greer, Godowski, the guys for Florida, I hope they're in the lineup tonight. And if they want to fight, bring it on.
Well, what do you like? We expected that last time, Brian. We expected a little bit of fisticuffs, and we didn't get any of it. So are they saving it all up for tonight?
Yeah, you know what? I talked to those guys last time, Sabern and Curtis Douglas, were in the lineup in Florida. And I asked them, I said, how many times did you ask those two guys to fight? They said 6 times. They didn't want anything to do with it. But you know what? They're not like, that's the difference is when you have guys in the lineup, they're not going to run around after Kucherov and Hagel and Cirelli. They don't have the guys to do that when we don't have anybody in the lineup. That's why we have to have guys like that in the lineup against certain teams because, you know what? You police your players. And you know what? You want to win Stanley Cups. You want to go deep in the playoffs. You got to have guys that are like Kucherov, Point, and Gensel, and Hagel, and Cirelli, and, all those guys playing at full force. And you don't need to have guys running them that can't even really play hockey.
Right. And sometimes guys want to go and they don't want to go, and it kind of the game kind of takes care of that, right? And one thing we'll see tonight that we didn't see in the last matchup was Brandon Hagel in the lineup, and obviously he's been at the focal point of all the shit going on between these two teams, and he'll be back tonight, and he is on a freaking tear, so we don't want anything to happen to him. But let's just be honest, AJ Greer sucker punched him, and knowing Hagel the way I know him and you know him, I gotta figure something's coming tonight. Wouldn't you think?
Well, you know what, JP? I don't disagree with you on that one, but you know what? I don't think Brendan Hagel is going to try and go and fight or do anything like that tonight. I really would be shocked.
Right.
We need him on the ice. He's a valuable player to our team. Greer is not a top 6 player on their team. Hagel's a top 6 player on our team, and he means a lot to the team. He's got 18 goals right now. I just saw him when he walked off. I said, hey, what would be really nice? How about we get 20 goals by Christmas? Or how about 20 goals tonight? He goes, I like that, Brads. And I said, well, let's go do it. So anyways, he's got 18 goals, 20 goal mark at Christmas time is a really good stat. And then, you got Kucherov starting to climb the ladder in the point race. He's got 42 or 3 points right now. Braden Point's coming back up the ladder a bit right now. Played a couple good games lately. I like the way he's playing after he was out for 7 straight games. But, at the end of the day, if those guys want to come on the ice and, Paul Maurice, the coach of Florida, wants to throw those guys on the ice and they want to do their job and shit disturb against, Hagel or Point or Kucherov or Gensel and those guys, then you know what? Then let them be held accountable. Then go fight Curtis Douglas or Sabern. They're not. I will guarantee you they will not fight those guys. I'm telling you right now. I can't wait to see it happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. And you know what? The guys like that, I think Sabern and Curtis Joseph, or Curtis Douglas, they're smart players. They're not going to go drop their gloves and take stupid penalties. And Florida's going to get power play after power play. They're going to fight if someone wants to fight. But you know what? If someone's willing to take a shot at one of our star players, they're going to be held accountable. And you know what? They'll drop the gloves. And that's what it's all about. I don't think our guys are going to go after anybody on their team like Reinhardt or Sam Bennett or do something stupid like they did. But if they want to run our guys, then they're going to pay the price. And, they should. That's what it's all about in hockey.
Brian Bradley joining us from Benchmark International Arena as the stinking Panthers and the Lightning get at it tonight, 7 o'clock. You mentioned Bassey. He's been out for, I think, 6 games now, and I thought JoJo's done a fantastic job, as you said. So we think it's going to be JoJo again tonight.
Yeah, it's JoJo again tonight. He's down in the net where you start. And Vazzy's at the other end where probably Bobrovsky will be right now. This is the net where the Panthers are in 2 periods, and Vazzy's in that net right now. They still have Halverson. He's at center ice right now, just standing there. But, Coach Cooper's on the ice. Max over there talking to Coach Cooper on the bench. But anytime you watch a morning skate, whoever's in the net where we play twice, that's going to be JoJo tonight.
Gotcha.
And you know what? He's had a successful road trip. He's played really well. The boys are working on power play right now. But, it's a big game against the Panthers. I mean, we're still up in first place, and we want to keep it that way. You know what? You just got to keep moving. Like I said, I like the way the guys are playing. They look good. They're moving it. You know what? And at the end of the day, it's always fun to play against the Panthers or even the Toronto Maple Leafs. But, those are arch rivals. Those are big rivals. And, you talk about rivals in pro sports and all different things like the Red Sox and the Yankees. And you can go down the list of all the different teams and stuff like that. But this is a good rivalry. And you know what? It all started this year in training camp, and it all started with the Florida Panthers. I don't think we had anything to do with what happened, except we were the receiving end of what happened early. And you know what? What happened in training camp was all Panthers. And you know what? I was shocked to see what they were doing in our building with Hagel. Punch him in the head, cross-check him. And, I mean, like, seriously, it's training camp. I mean, and then when we went to Florida, these guys wanted nothing to do with our guys, and now they're going to have both in the lineup tonight. This is the first time. Greer played last time, but that Gerdowski guy, he never played number 12. So they're going to be targets tonight for our 2 guys. Trust me, and I can't wait. I want to see them fight and get their asses kicked.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest. They got something coming. I was shocked that didn't happen last game, but we'll see that happens tonight. Hey, speaking of Hagel and Kucherov and Cirelli and that line, I mean, the Bolts went, I think, 3 or 4 games, couple games without scoring, and then they explode for 6 in Montreal, 8 in New Jersey, and they even got a couple past Sorokin against the Islanders. So this offense is clicking. Bjorkstrand is scoring now. Radish has been unbelievable. Talk a little bit about how this offense has kind of found its way.
Yeah, the offense is really starting to come on, you know what I mean? I mean, you knew it was going to be a matter of time.
Yeah.
I mean, like look at this lineup we have here compared to most teams. Like we have so much depth in scoring, and Florida doesn't. I mean, you look at Florida Panthers, they have Marchand's got 18 goals and Sam Reinhart has 15, then it drops off dramatically. Yeah. I mean, they don't have the Barkov, they don't have Tkachuk, so they don't have a lot of depth scoring on their team, but our team has got a lot of scoring guys. And I like, John Cooper with the line combinations, and he's changed it up a bit. I mean, obviously we've got Kucherov with Cirelli and Hagel. They've been outstanding. I mean, they've been fantastic. I love the way Hagel plays. Cirelli's just so good defensively, makes a lot. But I really like this new line they put together with Jake Gensel, Braden Point, and Bjorkstrand. They've never really played together, these 3 guys. Like, I don't think I've ever seen them play in that combination before, and they look good. They're doing some stuff right now with the puck. I like the way they play because, Gensel's so smart with the puck. He's a wizard. He's kind of like a mini version of a Kucherov. I mean, I'm not going to say, but he's so good with the puck. He's a 40-goal scorer every year. He's won a couple Stanley Cups. Point, obviously, when he gets his skating back the way he is lately, he's been, got goals the last couple games. And then Bjorkstrand playing with them, I think maybe just adding the piece to the puzzle, it's definitely helped out because – they look really good, that line. And then, obviously Yanni Gord lines a checking line with Jurgensen and Pontus Holmberg. They look outstanding. And then the fourth line, I mean, James comes in, Gonzalez comes in, but then you got Sabern, then you've got, Nick Paul. He's on that fourth line, with, Curtis Douglas. So I think the big guys are going to go tonight with Nick Paul. That's a big line. Oh, my God, their size, their strength. And they look good. And Nick Paul scored the other night. So at the end of the day, he's probably should be playing on a different line, but at the end of the day, we've got a lot of guys that can score. And I'll tell you right now, Bjorkstrand scored a nice goal on that. They're doing line rushes with Gensel, Point, and Bjorkstrand. He looks really good today. And then, the guys are just doing some line combinations right now, see what happens and go from there. But I like it. It looks like it's Nick Paul, Curtis Douglas, and Sabern are on the fourth line tonight. That's my guess. I think they got to go back with that. Nothing against James or Gonzalez, but we're playing an arch rival team tonight, and we're going to set a precedence here. What's going to happen? And at the end of the day, you know what? JoJo's in net. I like our defense. Mac looks like Ryan McDonough looks like he could be back maybe this weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Thursday or Saturday night he's in the lineup. He's looking pretty good. And I guess he was on the road trip, skated a little bit. So at the end of the day, he's looking pretty good right now.
Hey, Brian, with the announcement that Hedman's going to be out till February, normally I think we'd all be in panic mode, but these young defensemen have played so well. I kind of feel like defensively we're really playing our best hockey of the season right now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's amazing because when you look at the team, they're just at center ice right now doing their last little stretching before guys get off. But I mean, you know what? When you look at the team, I mean, you lose Chernak, you lose Hedman, you lose Ryan McDonough. Those are big losses to a team. But you know what? We've called these kids up. We called up Carla. We've called up Santini. We've called up some of these guys. Crozier's come in and really played well. I mean, I really like it. You know what? Another guy that we're not talking about a lot. He's on fire.
Dan Radish, yeah.
He's been fantastic in defensively, shooting the puck, making plays. I love the way he plays, right now. So I love it. We have depth there. I mean, it's just amazing to see how good we are. With our depth right now, with 3 defensemen like that are out of the lineup. It's incredible.
Yeah, they played really, really well.
Yeah.
All right, Brads, we'll see you tonight for the stinking Panthers. Maybe you might have to go down on the ice and take a couple of shots. I don't know. We'll get a little alumni. Let's get some alumni fights going.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
The there we go. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I'm taking a good game tonight. I'm going the Lightning win 4-1. 4-1 at home.
4-1 at home?
4-1 at home. I don't know if there'll be a fight, but I swear to God, I hope there's a fight, maybe 2, because I want our guys to kick some Panther ass. I'm sick of these guys and what they did.
Greer's got something coming to him. That's for damn sure.
Yep.
All right, partner. Love you,
Over
brother.
See you guys.
The great Brian Bradley right there. Outstanding. Looking forward to that one tonight. I think it's a spot game. Is it a national game? I don't know. Monday night, maybe it might be a national game. I'm not sure.
It's on normal scripts tonight.
Normal scripts, okay. Which, by the way, you guys out there, I want to hear from you. Are you watching it on scripts? Because I don't. It was supposed to be easier to find. I'm trying to get this camera shot right, guys. Sorry. It's supposed to be easier to find, and I don't know if that's the case. So let me know with the script, because I don't know if it's on YouTube or not. The YouTube channel, the script. Well, if you get the local channels, it should be. Anyway, let me know what you guys are thinking. Are you watching the games on script, or are you watching it on the app? I don't know, but I'm interested to find out how that's going. Because I watch them on Spectrum. I can get them on Spectrum.
Yeah, me too.
So that's easy. But I don't know about the rest of you, so let me know how you're watching. All right, should we do some comments here?
Yeah, let's go back to comments.
And most of them are Bucks related. I know people are like, "Well, move on from the Bucks." Listen, it's Bucks 24/7. That's kind of how it works around here during football season. So we're not talking necessarily going over the Falcons game to relive the game itself. We're doing it to look forward to what's next. Like, how do we defend Bryce Young and a much better Panthers team than the Falcons? So, let's see. Plays Blues Wolf. Haven't seen you in here, so welcome. Says no professionalism, no pride exhibited by too many Bucks players. Michael LaRue, good morning to you. Said Todd Bowles, former position coach at Temple, Nick Rapone, has only held 2 NFL jobs, both given him by Bowles in Arizona and Tampa. The 69-year-old safeties coach just isn't an NFL caliber coach.
I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who kind of point to the assistants and the guys that have been around here a long time and wonder, are they the best? Are they the best
No.
at what they do?
I think they've had too long of a leash, the entire defensive staff, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's loyalty from Todd, or it has to be at this point.
He's a very loyal guy.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're looking at staff changes, like, I mean, offensively, like it'll depend what happens with Todd Bowles' future here in Tampa Bay. I know you talked about Grizzard not being Liam Cohen. Of course he's not. But I thought in this last game, when he had all of his weapons to play, I mean, I thought that was that was trending to be maybe the Bucs' best game on offense. It could have been. Unfortunately, the quarterback, it was just, I mean, a disaster for much of that game, I thought, and that's what stopped them from scoring 40+ points. That's just the fact. So Grizzard, I think, looked okay. They just had their assistant quarterback, their quarterback coach or assistant quarterback coach or something just got hired this morning to be the offensive coordinator at Cal. I'm not sure his name, but he literally just got hired from Cal this morning. So you're getting some of their offensive staff gets hired away. We love Carberry on the offensive line. Like, the offensive staff, McClendon at receiver, like the offensive staff, I think, is actually really solid. Yeah. But that defensive staff is just going nowhere.
Well, the offensive staff has been updated, right? Whereas the defensive staff has not, because of the changes at coordinator, obviously. And, this is what happens when you have a defensive coordinator as your head coach. You're going to continually recycle, or if your offensive guys do well, as we've seen, they move on to be head coaches, and typically that you got to rehire all the time, and you're not going to hit every single time. And well, I still don't want to put a lot of blame on Grizzard, because I think he's come up with some innovative stuff, no question about it. I wasn't thrilled with the play calling down the stretch. I thought they could have possibly leaned on the run a little bit more. But here's the thing: when they're selling out for the run, and you've got an interior of your offensive line that's just not very good right now with the two backup guards and Barton not playing great, it's tough to call run plays. I get it. You want to put it in the hands of your best players, and right now your best players are your quarterback and receiver. I know Bucky's. I don't mind a swing pass to Bucky, but it's just hard to call plays when your offensive line is not very good. I know other teams do it. I'm not making excuses, but I'm just trying to be real. And there's been a lot of change offensively. But again, they scored enough points. No, they probably didn't. The interception at the end of the game was brutal. That really, really hurt them a lot. And that was just, that's just a bad throw from Baker. He's got to be better. Bad decision and bad throw. James says, what are the internal problems AW Jr. talks about, JP? Does anyone know? Why don't the D leaders tell Bowles to come up with another defensive game plan? I don't know for a fact, okay, but my guess is they are frustrated with the coaching staff defensively. That would be my guess, because we are. If I'm a player and I'm having success doing certain things, and then the coach calls that off and they go right down the field, that would really piss me off. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it as a player, because, as Marcus Compton says, Bowles is stubborn. Right on cue there, Marcus, by the way. Right on cue. And I agree with him. Mike H. said, Todd threw the players under the bus, said he teaches where to be, and they are never there. First rules coaching, never throw players under the bus. Okay, again, he did in that situation. What have we always asked? We wanted Bowles to call guys out more. And he did. He also took the blame, but he also put it on the players. And I think that's fair. Why on 4th and 14 is AW Jr. 40 yards away from the action? Well, because they're terrified of giving up a touchdown. They play scared defensively. That's how Todd coaches in those situations. He coaches scared.
Well, the thing is this year, and that's part of the reason why this year I think has been worse than any other years is, I mean, I remember around the Buffalo game, they'd given up 11 touchdowns of 25 yards or more, and they've continued to give up long touchdowns since then. It's got to be probably at 15 at this point. And we talked about it like that. They only had like 3 or 4 in Bowles' entire tenure, like before this season. Like, that's the thing that I can't wrap my head around. Like, they always were protecting against giving up that big play. And now it doesn't seem to matter what they do now. They're going to give up that big play. And honestly, I think it has to do with the fact, like I said, there's some things I can't explain, like players making decisions. What I can explain to you is the middle of the field is the most important part. Obviously, when you're playing defense, is protecting the middle of the field. And the Bucs got linebackers. They got 4 of them on this roster that can't move. Like they just cannot move. That's the other part of this. Like, is it as simple as to say that if they had adequate linebacker play, this would look a lot differently? Sure. Because right now, these linebackers stink. They just do. Bad. And I'm sorry. And that includes Levante David right now. It just does.
I agree. Jude Jetson says the locker room is lost, and when that happens, we clean up, i.e., Dungy, Gruden, Raheem, Sciatto, Lovey, Dirk Cutter. Play calling is absurd. We have a 3-headed monster capable of the run game. I thought they went away from the run a little bit. But, again, there were plenty of plays to be made, and you got to execute. Those players offensively, once again, we see drops, key drops in key situations. The offensive line could not pass off any twist or any stunt whatsoever.
Oh.
And Baker,
we as a society will never get away from seeing Michael Jordan, not from North Carolina, play professional football for this team. Like that. I mean, when Ben Bredesen got hurt, I literally I'm like, wow, we really have to watch Michael Jordan play football for the rest of the season.
And Dan Feeney.
Dan Feeney, at least, I don't know. Dan Feeney's not great either, but Michael Jordan is abysmal. Abysmal.
I don't know. I think Feeney's worse. James says every time Cousins was pressured by a blitz, he hurried his throw. So why let him have his way on 3rd and 4th down? That was exactly the question that I asked Todd Bowles. And the answer was a little bizarre, to be quite honest. It's like 4th and 14. They're just going to screen it to Bijan, and they're going to, score a touchdown if I blitz. Like, I thought you were a master at disguising the blitz. And that's kind of your job to come up with those particular situations. That's why, listen, it's a team game. And, they got to coach it better and they got to play it better. Nobody wants to hear that. But that's 100% right. But to me, it starts with the coaching. And I don't think these guys have any confidence in Bowles right now. King Bucks Babe said, did you guys see Winfield Sr. liking a tweet about Bowles coaching malpractice? To me, it's clear he's lost the locker room. I did not see that, but that does not surprise me. What do you think of my theory, Nick, that they don't have any confidence in this coaching staff? And that's why they're just shaking their head.
I mean, it's kind of evident in their play. Like they just seem like an entire operation, entire franchise that have no way. They're out of answers. They're out of answers. They're out of ideas. They're out of answers. They have nothing. To me, it just seems like they have nothing left to give. And I hate feeling that way because the fact of the matter is you got to get back on track and understand that like they have to win 2 of these last 3 games to win the division. And theoretically, their goals are all still in front of them, right? Like that's the reality that they're dealing with still. So you have to find a way to get back on track and somehow find a way to win 2 football games. But it's like, even then, this Thursday night, who plays on Thursday Night Football this week? The Rams and the Seahawks, who are both 11-3. It's going to be a great game, by the way. It's going to be way better than Bucks and Falcons from last week.
It was a dramatic game.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think the rest of the country really cared much about watching that football game. But anyway, you're going to see you're going to see these 2 teams go up against each other, who I think are the 2 best teams in the NFC that unfortunately play in the same division. One's going to win, one's going to lose. Guess what? The loser's just going to play this Buccaneer team in the first round of the playoffs. And if the Seahawks win and it's the Rams, do we even want to see that?
No.
Do we even want to see it? I feel like I've done a complete 180 from 4 or 5 weeks ago where I thought everything's fine. And then of course I didn't see them continuing to just play like this. I thought they were going to turn it around at some point and win this division with some relative ease. But now I've just completely lost interest, in seeing them play in a playoff game. I'm actually saying that. I don't have interest in seeing them play a home playoff game against the Seattle Seahawks or the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know if I want to see that.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you because that Rams game was embarrassing. That was about as non-competitive as I've seen 2 NFL teams. What did Stafford start? 12 for 12 in that game? It was like they were practicing against air. It was embarrassing. And, and thank God that McVay had mercy on the organization he once worked for, or it could have been, and those are games that can get you fired. If McVay wanted to roll up 50 or 60, he could have done so. But he probably wants to keep Todd Bowles around. Joel Forsland says, hard to move on when you know the same shit will happen in Charlotte. That's the whole point. John Taylor, good morning from Wahiawa, Hawaii. Good morning to you, my friend. It's really early out there, isn't it? What's the weather like, Johnny? Send us some pictures. Bucks haven't won in those creamsicle jerseys since 2009. Fact is stranger than fiction. 100%.
Wasn't that just the other part of that too? That just ate at you. Like they were wearing the creamsicle jerseys, and of course the disaster happened in them. Like they're right now they'll lose in any uniform they play. Don't get me wrong, but that just added to it.
The Bucks are favored by 2.5 in Carolina. Are you serious? Yes, cash in, kids.
You can't trust Carolina. That's the thing. You don't know what you're going to get out of Carolina on any given week. You just don't know, and that's the scary part.
Yeah. And we have a accounting from Thomas Casper. Throwback games 2009 1-0, and we haven't won since. We have not.
The white ones were winners. The white jerseys were winners.
Yeah. I do not think it's coincidence, folks. What else we got here? Jew Jetson says the Jets just fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes. Bucks should bring him in now to really get Baker upset and light fire under his ass. That will definitely do it. Come on. Somebody said I'm echoing. I think we took care of that, didn't we?
Yeah, we're good.
What else we got? Bantry, good morning to you. Said, I think the assistant coaches are more of a problem than Bowles. And that's the thing. Who do you replace them with? Listen, I think if you're going to force Bowles to fire his entire coaching staff, I think he'd probably retire. But what's the point of that? Fire the coaching staff and keep Todd? I don't think that makes any sense. I think it's pretty plain, guys. And I'm not getting this from the Glazers or anybody else. I just know you feel it from the fan base. The people that buy the tickets, buy the suites, and buy everything. Everybody, there is a malaise and a Bowles fatigue. There's no question about that.
Isn't there just like a breaking point, like for everybody? Like every Bucks coach's tenure, you can pinpoint that one moment where everybody sort of settled back and said, "Yeah, this is over. This is over."
Yeah.
And this was officially like we thought there have been other games throughout his tenure where we thought, okay, this is over. This is over. But Thursday really felt like that exclamation point, did it not?
It just felt like, the rant from Bowles felt like, first of all, earlier in the week, the bringing in of JPP, which I may have been misconstrued. I love JPP, and I think it's worth a shot. You're trying. So I'm okay with you bringing him in. It's just what it signaled to everybody is that's how desperate you are. I was not saying that they should have done it. I mean, do anything you can. Look under every rock to see if you can find something that's going to help you.
Larry Foote, even though he said like he didn't want to assume, basically said like it wasn't exactly about what he's going to give you on the field. They were looking for like a different mentality in the building. And like to me, that's the worst. That's the most damning part and kind of what we've been saying.
Yeah, exactly. Dean Giusti, 1884, said Bowles should have been fired immediately after that abortion of a coaching performance. Yeah, there were so many things bad about just the tactics in the game. Late in the game when they get the sack and then there's a holding call, you should have taken 3rd and 18 instead of 2nd and 28, in my opinion. You give them an extra down. You should less downs, less opportunities, and get after their ass. Because you're giving up 7.2 yards per play, right? Just from the math standpoint, if you're going that way, and it's 2nd and 18, right? So if I'm doing the math, 2 plays at 7.2 yards doesn't get your first down. 3 plays does. And guess what? 3 plays did. And the next play was a blitz and an incomplete pass. So I know you can't kind of do it this way, but on 3rd and 18, if you'd had a blitz and an incomplete pass, then it's 4th and 18. so it's a little bit harder. But either way, you got to freaking make the play. You got to make the play. Here's a little feedback. Says Scripps app is a mess, but Direct TV is 66 fine. The app is a mess. I don't want to hear that. John says I watch the games on Script when not in attendance. It's on Spectrum. Yeah, and I think it's great. The broadcast is great. I don't know if you've seen the Pat Maroon Kurds in the third. I think we all.
I think we love the Pat Maroon Kurds in the third.
He is quite the character. Nathan Stout says if Bowles doesn't take us to the NFC title game, time to hire Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur or Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula. We need a fresh start. It feels like that. It feels like this. I mean, if I'm guessing right now or predicting, I say Carolina wins the South and Bowles is fired. If Carolina wins the South, Bowles should be fired. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've always said he's got to win. If he hosts a home playoff game again, you have to win that home playoff game.
You got to win that. If you don't even make the playoffs, it's not even a thought, right?
Right. But I don't even think, even if you get to the playoffs and like you get blown out in that home playoff game again, like to me, like I still am pulling the plug. Like I will maintain that you have to win that home playoff game. And I think, honestly, I hate to put it all on one person, but I think to me, the one guy who really could save this entire thing, but I just don't know how likely it is Baker Mayfield. I hate to put it all on the quarterback because the quarterback always gets too much credit when you win and too much criticism when you lose. And that's the position. But Baker Mayfield, he's a roller coaster. He just always is. And he's always going to be that. Okay. There is just this year at least, there's just no week-to-week consistency with his game. And even earlier in the season, and granted, injuries were a big part of that. He saved his best for late in the game, and he bailed this team out so many times. And it's gotten to a point where he's no longer able to do that. The Baker magic sometimes in these late games has dried up. It just has.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. Yeah. And he has to be the guy at this point because you can't count on this defense anymore. You just can't count on him. Baker Mayfield has got to figure out a way. I don't care what he's dealing with or whatever. You're playing quarterback in the National Football League. Everybody's counting on you. You're the face of the franchise. This is time. You know this better than this is time for the quarterbacks to step up, and you have to somehow just will your team to victory like we know he can do. Like, I hate to put it again like on one person, but Baker Mayfield has to be better. And when he gets going, when he can get hot, he can make any throw on the field. We've seen that before, and he's got his full array of weapons. That's the only hope, in my opinion, is Baker Mayfield has to somehow get back on one of these hot streaks.
I agree, but he's hurt. And last week did not make it better. He got beat up bad. Stubby Ryan says 28 points was enough to win. Lamenting 40 points we might have scored is lame and lazy analysis. Stop the 4-win Falcons with 19 penalties. Yeah, you just got to win that game. And I think 28 points, that should be enough to win, especially against Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. I don't put this game on the offense. If you got to choose, the offense had a chance to win the game. 2 first downs, the game is theirs, right? And you couldn't do that. But the defense has to play its role as well, and they couldn't finish the game. And the other part about it is, as the games go on, it feels like where are the Bucs adjustments? Where are the coaching adjustments to take away what the other team is doing? I didn't see that against the Falcons or the Saints. Climactic says seeing the Panthers in first place for that brief period of time was haunting. Yeah. Yes, it is. Stubby Ryan says quarterbacks throw interceptions. It happens. An average defense would be able to overcome that. It's called complementary football. 100%. Yeah. The defense has to do something. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll get more of your comments in here. We'll talk a little college football as well. The Bulls have a little bowl game coming up this week, so we'll do that. We are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a great time for a insurance update. And make sure, by the way, that you have your business insurance and your flood insurance. Those are 2 products that most people do not have enough of or even have. If you started a side hustle, make sure you have business insurance because you can lose all your personal wealth. And make sure you have flood insurance. Self-explanatory. Quick break. We'll come back on the other side and get more of your comments. Stay with us.
You know, holidays are the best time to get engaged because all the family's already together. And at the Golden Diamond Source, they have thousands of diamonds to choose from in their jewelry wonderland. Looking for a gift that says forever? Find stunning engagement rings, diamond earrings, diamond bracelets, the most stylish gold fashion jewelry. And there's plenty for men in their new men's section and watch department. There's something for everyone on your list. And don't settle for anything less than perfection. At the Golden Diamond Source, they make it easy to give a gift they'll never forget. They wrap it up nice for you. You don't have to do any of that, guys. And they have a great staff there. You may not know what to get your lovely wife or girlfriend, but they do. Let them do the work. Hey, finance your purchase for 0% interest for up to 5 years. You could get a $5,000 diamond for only $84 a month. Don't go to the mall. Go to a local company and keep it local this Christmas at the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Bitch and Moan Monday. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. Christmas is a great time to get engaged. All the family is around, right? So if you've been thinking about popping the question, just go ahead and pull the trigger. First stop, the Golden Diamond Source, where they have thousands of diamonds for your approval. You can design anything you want in terms of a mounting. They'll do that too for you. So many great things at the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Olmsted Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Sorry, getting an allergy attack here. All right, I think we're good. I think we passed it. By the way, interesting comments that I'm going to get to here in just a second about why the Bucs did not do anything at the deadline. And you look around the NFC now. Micah Parsons goes down. I think that has actually taken the Green Bay Packers from a plus 750 to a plus 1,500 in Super Bowl odds. So that's a huge blow to them. The Chiefs are out, and Mahomes has a torn ACL, which is going to keep him out part of next year as well. It feels like there's a changing of the guard here, my friend, and opposite of what David Portnoy said after the first half about his Patriots taking over the AFC North or the AFC East, I guess it is. Was that the best premature rant in maybe the history of sports?
I mean, he loves a good premature rant. I feel like you get one out of him. You get one out of him every week, just about. But to your point,
was an epic one. That was epic.
Yeah. To your point, that was an epic game, though. That was a fantastic. Yeah. New England was up like 21-3 or something like that early. 21-0 at home, and Buffalo, Josh Allen. I mean, that's what Mike Vrabel said after the game. He was like, I don't know what you guys want me to say. Like, he's the MVP of the league. Like, that's just what he does. There's nothing you could do. But no, those two teams though in the AFC, you mentioned changing of the guard. No Kansas City, no Cincinnati. They get shut out at home yesterday. Goodness. And Burrow played the worst game I've seen him play, and now he's saying bizarre things at the podium. Cincinnati is a disaster right now. The Ravens, even though they won that game, the Ravens have not looked like the Ravens in some time. And Lamar is definitely playing. He's definitely banged up and not playing up to his full capability. Yeah. And then now the Green Bay to me is done. Green Bay still has a lot of really good pieces, and I love LaFleur and Love has been playing well. But Tucker Kraft to me was their best player on offense, and he tore his ACL. And now you lose Micah Parsons on defense. He tears his ACL. That seems a little bit too much. Even the Lions right now, the Lions are not in the playoffs, by the way. The Lions lost that game yesterday to the Rams, where they had a 10-point lead and they were unable to overcome that. Like, some of these teams that we've been seeing at the top of the conferences for a good chunk now, they're not going to be there. So it's ripe for the taking in both conferences, I would argue right now, for something new to emerge.
Yeah, and I, there's a theory out there that Bowles knew that this team was too banged up. Or I'm sorry, that Light knew this team was too banged up to make moves at the deadline and give away future resources. That's the whole thing. We don't know what the price was for Jalen Phillips or an inside linebacker or whatever. But they do have $16.5 million in cap space that they haven't spent. Now, if you don't spend it this year, you can roll it over to next year. That's part of how the cap works.
Trust me, I got a list of players who I would love to see play elsewhere too. So you might be able to free up even more money.
Who's on that list, Nick?
Well, let's get the obvious ones out of the way. I'm not bringing Logan Hall back. I'm redoing my entire depth at defensive tackle. Like, Logan Hall's going. I'm blanking on that's it. Vita and Cansey, but I still need some extra insurance because Cansey unfortunately continues to get hurt and Vita's getting older. Yeah. I'm not guaranteeing Chris Braswell a roster spot. I'm sure he'll be in camp for sure, but I'm making him earn every bit of it, to be honest with you. So I still think, and to me, it's not about drafting an edge rusher in the first round or something like that. You need to go get a proven guy and not someone like Hassan Reddick, where it was basically you just saying, well, let's see if it works out. We'll give him a 1-year deal. Prove it. He ain't coming back. As far as I can tell, Hassan Reddick ain't coming back.
No way.
So that's coming off the books. Linebacker room, there's nobody there worth keeping. Jamel Dean, I would love it if Jamel Dean,
Jamel Dean's the one we
would want to come back. Yeah, I would love if Jamel Dean would want to come back, but I don't know how that's going to go down. I really don't. And Kate Otten, I don't know about Kate Otten. It depends what the price is. What the price is.
Listen, if it's a, what you call it, a medium deal. But if it's, what did the top tight ends make? What did Andrew just sign for? Almost like $18 million a year, I think it was.
Mark Andrews got paid more than he should be getting paid at this stage.
Oh my God, yes, yeah. But he kind of reset the market, especially at his age. Isaiah Likely is a better player, but I would say, in the 8 million average AAV, that's about all. Maybe 3 years. 22 million, 24 million, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's a useful player. He's just not. Yeah. He's a useful player. But I'd like to see. I think Devin Culp's the best pass catching tight end on the roster, and it was good to see him get that touchdown on Thursday night. I'd like to see them sprinkle him in a little bit more, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's on Grizz. That's on Grizz to do that. Here's a new watcher, listener, commenter, Mayhall85. Thank you for jumping in. Says the Amazon Buck stock shows beautifully the correlation between the three major Buck eras, 79, 2002, and 2020. And this current team just doesn't stack up, sadly. I know. And that's why I was watching it last week. I brought that point up 3 or 4 times, and it's just so evident that there's just, we don't have the dogs that those teams had more than anything, No. Nathan Elliott says, I was there Thursday night. I've watched the game 2 more times since then. Oh, you are a sicko. That game takes me back to the 2002 Monday Night Football Colts, and the 2021 Rams playoff meltdown games. Embarrassing.
What's crazy? Before that game on Thursday night, I started watching the Raise the Flags doc when it came out on Thursday, obviously.
Yeah.
And I actually was on that episode before the Bucs game started, where they had the meltdown against the Colts in 2003. And the Glazers said that, there's always that moment where it feels like an era came to an end. And he said from 1995 to 2003, that was an era. And that was the moment where that era came to an end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, who would have known that 3 hours later, it feels like the current Bucs era came to an end.
It has a really, really similar feel, doesn't it?
It was amazing. It was amazing. I was literally watching
you can't
right
define
before.
it. It's like, what do they say about porn? You can't define it, but you know when you see it.
Yeah.
you can't define what an end of an era is, but you know it when you see it. And I think we saw that. And listen, and anybody who gets on the, how do you fire a coach that's won the divisions and blah, 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 has not been paying attention. There'll be a national. I'm sure Ryan Clark will come out and have his say about that. And it's going to be very, very hollow. Todd Bowles has been given a great opportunity, and he did okay. It wasn't horrific. He won some division championship, won a playoff.
And by the way, independent of how his head coaching cycle has gone, Todd Bowles' legacy in Tampa Bay is always going to be what happened in February 2021.
100%.
And it'll always be set in stone right there. Independent of anything we're watching, that to me at the end of the day is what you're going, or at least you should remember Todd Bowles for. Antoine
Winfield Jr. Deuces. That's what it was. You guys, we just beat your ass. And he'll have great memories. He's been paid a lot of money. Todd Bowles will be fine.
Yeah.
There's no, he'll be just fine. James says, I'm not going to blame Baker. He's obviously hurt. I do blame Baker for not checking off on the pass play call. 2nd and 5, run twice, get the first down, and move on. Grizz will be better, but not with the Bucs. Listen, Baker has the opportunity to check out of it. There's something that he liked about that play. I don't have all the information on that, so I'm not going to criticize him for that. I will say I would have liked to seen them try to run the football in those situations, at least burn some timeouts. Joel Forley says, how can you have confidence the scheme is dated and doesn't work anymore? That's it. Yeah. Michael LaRue says the Bucs would have blitzed more than you either get a stop or they score with time on the clock so your offense has a chance. Exactly. Just like the Washington playoff game. Sit back and let them run, clock, and score. This is what I'm saying. You want less plays, not more. So don't take the penalty in that situation, in my opinion. And get off the field. Get 2 plays to get off the field on 3rd and 18. You got to be able to do that. And if you blitz and Bijan does take it to the house, all right, well, now you got a minute in 15 to respond. And that's another thing. You in the first half, you had an opportunity to call timeouts, and had you done that, you would have got the ball back with 1:15, not 38 seconds, had you used your timeouts on defense. And how did that drive end? It ended because he didn't have enough time to keep going. And you had to kick a field goal at the end of the half. Again, more aggressive use of their timeouts while they had the ball would have given you more time to go down and score a touchdown instead of a field goal. Once again, clock management. It totally seems like since the bye week or even earlier than that, clock management guy has been MIA. Todd's management of games since the bye at least has been god awful in terms of time and situation. What else here's Nathan Elliott says the Bucs have almost $16.5 million available per spot track in cap space. Why did Jason Light not go shopping and pick up a defensive tackle, linebacker, left guard, right guard, or another edge rusher? I pay the money. Show me the money. That's right, you do. I think the fans are very displeased. Rick says, Jags and Panthers in the Super Bowl, and Baker can do the coin flip. The worst part about it is both of those teams, I think, are going to make the playoffs. With our old OCs.
The Jaguars are what, 10-4?
Yeah.
Goodness
gracious. Just hung 48 on the Jets. Blew them out because he knows how to blow teams out. Stay aggressive. So Fortune says every quarterback has a high completion percentage against this defense. Been that way since 2019 when Bowles got here. Yeah, it's a lot of bend, but don't break. No question about it.
I can't say it since he got here because
there were some good defenses.
They won a Super Bowl on the back of that defense in the playoffs.
I think that defense though was 29th against the pass, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm saying. I said that earlier. Like it wasn't like it was sunshine and rainbows throughout the entire time, but they got hot at the right time.
Yeah. Richie Rich says the Bulls need to dumb down the defense. Yeah, we've been saying that for a long time because the guys clearly have no idea what they're doing. The guys are way too miscommunications all the time, and that could be because they're thinking too much, and it's too complicated. What else we got here? Andre all day. Good morning, Houston. I felt like it was over when the Falcons converted on 4th and 14. Yep, that was the moment, wasn't it? 100%. This is funny from Nathan. So I got my post-game survey from Thursday. Question number 3, how do you feel about the direction of the team? That is the coach killer or saving question for ticket buying season pass members to answer. How do you think that one came back on the survey?
Probably bad. Unfortunate timing. Timing on the survey.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to work out well for him. Andre all day says, for the record, let the Bucs make the playoffs. How often do they get in anyway? Listen, if they make the playoffs and lose at home, I still think Bowles will be fired, especially if they play the Rams and it goes like the first Rams game. You can't continue with that. You just can't. No way.
No, they are playing defense at the level that's not too far away from what Cincinnati's doing. And kind of Dallas, like you look at the numbers, like that's kind of where they are. That's who they're competing with right now in team defense around the league. Yeah. The basement dwellers.
Let's see here. Never had a chance. 05 says Bryce Young has thrown for under 200 yards in 10 games this year. This week he's going to go for over 300. I mean, you have to bet on that, don't you? Don't you have to play money on?
Wait,
Bryce
he's
Young
thrown for under 200 in 10 games this year.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I can. I'm pretty sure if you want to get things in the right direction, I know exactly the team that you want to play.
Nathan Elliott says the Bucs basement. Were you at the game? I heard the boos. I did not hear any fire Bowles chants. I did. I definitely heard that. What else we got here? Bucks Basement says, yes, I was at the game. The boos were loud for him walking away, and the fire Bowles chants were loud when the Amazon crew was doing the post-game show. Yeah, I heard that. Didn't you, Nick? I did.
Yeah.
But were you in agreement that Dungy should have been fired after 2001? This is basically the same thing. No, not after 2001. I mean, well, yeah, that's when he got fired. I was thinking 2000. Yeah, I mean, we were all, it felt very much the same way. We loved Tony to death, but we felt like the team needed a new voice. It needed some energy. And you definitely needed something new on offense. The defense was already championship, and if you brought in someone with some fire and some offensive chops, that would put you over the top. And that's exactly what happened.
That's a side note conversation, but I thought that was just a fascinating part from that documentary when they were diving into the coaching search after they fired Tony Dungy. Mm-hmm. I wasn't aware of like how many twists and turns that coaching search took. It made it sound like they fired Dungy and they knew like they were going to go get John Gruden, and that it wasn't exactly the case. And I didn't realize that this was almost like very, very Penn State-y out of the Bucks back then, where they were just striking out on all their top targets, and then
I lived that whole thing. I was anchored over Channel 8 at the time, and we had great insight into what was going on, and because we're getting a lot from Rich McKay, and Rich was out there doing his search, and the Glazers were kind of doing their own, and they were, he had Marvin Lewis signed up, Rich McKay did. And when the Glazers said, no, we're not doing that. Because they didn't want to go with another. I think Marvin was a defensive guy, wasn't he? I think he was.
Yeah, he was the Ravens DC at the time.
Yeah, it just seemed like very, the same as Dungy. And so they were right. And they were right. I think Rich was wrong in that situation. But obviously what they did turned out to be
one of
the biggest swings and home runs in NFL history.
Yeah. I also had no idea that they reached out to Nick Saban when he was in his second year at LSU. And at that time was not even like, he hadn't even won a national championship. He wasn't even the Nick Saban that we all know, even close to it yet. So that was fascinating.
There's so many fascinating things in there.
It's a good point. It's a good point from some of these later comments that in terms of an impact pass rusher, Josh Sweat would have only cost $5 million more this year than Hassan Reddick. And Josh Sweat has been you talk about game wrecker, game changer type player. I know Arizona is not winning football games, but it ain't because of Josh Sweat. He's been fantastic. And they had just seen him, basically be the best player in that Super Bowl before he hit free agency. So, he was available to the entire league, but they clearly didn't want to make that investment in Josh Sweat. He adds here, I'm forcing Antoine Winfield and Zion to take pay cuts. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, Zion just got his contract, and Zion, I think he has one more year really on that deal, and then there's a team option where they can get out of it. So next year will just be his prove it year. Right.
Listen, and I like Zion, and I know he's playing like shit, but I like him, and I think 90% of his problem is mental. I think it can be straightened out. I really do. He's got a lot of great attributes. He just comes from a small school, and he's got confidence issues. And when he's playing confident, he's really good. And when he's not, he's really bad. So
I don't know what to make of Winfield, though. I don't have any answers for that one, other than he just got to play better, because it's not like he's injured. Can't use that excuse this year.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's when we paid Winfield, I was a little surprised at the number, to be quite honest. I thought, I was like, wow, he's really good. But his size and his, I don't know. It's like a lot of his game is great awareness and savvy, which is good because that plays and it has longevity. But it's like you're going to pay a guy like that. You want the intangibles, but you also want size and real good measurables. And Antoine's got some speed, but he's not a big guy. He's not knocking anybody out. He's a playmaker, though. And I'm not saying not pay him, but I think we kind of paid him like Ed Reed, and he's not that guy. He's not a Hall of Famer. I don't know. I love him as a player, but he does seem like he's grossly overpaid, and we're certainly not getting what we deserve. John Hill says Jason Light draft results in 14, Evans and Safari and Jenkins. Ooh, there's two ends of the spectrum there. 15, Winston and Smith. What are we doing? First and second round. Hargraves and Spence in 16. That 16 draft was horrific. Howard and Evans in 17, bad. Vea and Jones. Who is Jones?
Ronald Jones.
Ronald Jones. That's all right. White and Murphy in 19. Wirfs and Winfield, obviously home run there. JTS and Trask, awful. Only 4 of those on the roster. Interesting. Yeah, Jason Light's had good drafts, but he's got depth in the drafts. At the top, obviously Evans and Vita Vea and I thought Cansey was a great pick, but just hadn't been able to keep him on the field. Joel Forsman says NFL manipulating shit even back then. Wanted Kurt Warner's story for the Super Bowl. Oh, for the Bert Emanuel. Oh, yeah, 100%. Elijah Roberts is a solid player. Yeah, he's solid, but not – you keep him, but he's not anything great. Yes, they do have the highest percentage of their own draft picks on the roster, Joel Forsman. That's a win if they're good players. If you're keeping – if you're winning and they're good players – and they're playing, that's all great. But at this point, you kind of look at them and go, yeah, they're playing, but are they good players? A lot of them. And the answer is no. For Benjamin Morrison was a healthy scratch. Your second round pick corner.
Yeah, he said he wasn't ready, but I don't know. Was he a full participant in practice though? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What else we got here?
We did have some non-Bucks news that came out today in the college world that was pretty big.
Go right ahead.
I don't know if you've seen it, but DJ Lagway is officially entering the transfer portal.
I did not see that.
Yes, that came down. That came down while we were live, so that is I probably expected, I guess, that was going to happen, and it feels like a player that badly needs a change of scenery.
Yeah, I thought DJ Lagway was going to have a big year. But then you get no spring practice, no fall practice, really. And this is one of the things that about the new college world that I think is really bad. All this transferring, not only does it affect the fans in terms of we don't know who the hell's on the roster, right, from year to year, but it affects the quality of the football. Because guys typically, it takes a while to learn a system. So when you have so much upheaval, so you have rosters turning over, you have coaching staffs turning over. So it's really difficult for a first-year coaching staff to come in and put it all together in 1 year. So that's what makes, Kurt Signetti has done and some others really impressive. Really, really impressive. You got to be such a good teacher of your systems, which a lot of coaches are not. A lot of coaches are not good teachers. A lot of them are just, they're good recruiters, but for the most part, you got to have guys that are good teachers. And I think that's something that's missing. So Lagway, to my point with Lagway, he didn't get a lot of practice, didn't get a lot of work with his receivers. And then it shows. It shows on Saturdays if you haven't had those reps. 2 weeks of reps in the offseason is not enough to get it going. And once it goes bad for a quarterback and he loses his confidence, it can be bad.
Yeah, I do, though. I love the hire, though, that Florida – I think Florida has been killing it with these hires, though. And I think Buster Faulkner, getting him away from Georgia Tech to be your offensive coordinator with what he was able to do with Haynes King, who really was, going nowhere at Texas A&M, comes to Georgia Tech, and, he was getting Heisman votes this year. I was kind of, curious to see if Lagway had stayed, what that would look like, because Lagway's only played under the Billy system. And the Billy system proved that was just not a winner at the Power 4 level, not even close to it. So I was curious to see what he would get with some really good coaching, but it's not going to happen at Florida. So they'll have to figure out what they're going to do at quarterback. I'm not sure if they have that answer on the roster right now, but the report from Pete Nakos over at On3 obviously where I work at, said that the 3 teams to watch for Lagway are going to be Baylor. And before everybody goes Baylor, his dad played at Baylor. So there's an obvious connection there. And then the other 2 are interesting because it's LSU. So it's Lane Kiffin, who obviously did not come to Florida. And if you want to talk about getting into a real and get some real coaching, that's probably a good spot. And of course, the other one, the Miami Hurricanes, DJ Lagway.
So is that going to be what the Miami MO now? The biggest quarterback on the market is always going to go to Miami? Oh.
That seems to be their strategy.
Well, they pay for it. And you know, when guys go there and have success, that makes more guys want to go there, obviously. Because you know you're going to be surrounded by a really good offensive line and good receivers and probably good running backs. So, yeah, good spot to go.
Yeah.
Hate to say that, but well, he's not interested in Florida State?
You know, I don't think he's interested in playing in the Gus Malzahn offense. I don't think he's interested in his quarterback coach being someone that is already on the staff. That sounds like it's just going to get promoted to quarterback coach, which is just laughable to me. Who's also he's also a Gus guy. So no, Florida State's digging around for some quarterback that played at West Florida this year, from what I understand. So
How about that?
No, they're not in the DJ Lagway sweepstakes.
Played really well.
Yeah, he played well, but I saw all the teams that contacted him and I saw the logos and I'm like, one of these logos is not like the rest.
Shouldn't that be a clue? Well, look at the great success that Mike Norvell has had identifying quarterbacks in college.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Ooh, there was Tate Rodemaker. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. All right, let's take one more break. We'll come back, finish up on comments and whatever else is breaking here around the world of sports. We'll get into a little bit of NFL yesterday. I got some notes I want to make on some of the other games because, yes, there were other games. I got to watch a lot of football yesterday in my travels. So quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We're brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing and American Standard Heating and Cooling. For all of your HVAC needs, that is the dynamic duo, folks. HVAC needs in terms of heating and cooling. American Standard is absolutely the best, most durable, most efficient units. And in this hot Florida sun, you got to have a very durable unit. American Standard Heating and Cooling and Third Generation Plumbing, the great folks that will install it and maintain it for you. Just go to their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Back in 3.
JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park. So free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucks and Rays play. We'll see you there. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on this Monday. Even though the Bucs played on Thursday, it's still a bitch and moan Monday. We thank you guys for jumping in. We're brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso and Riveters. Riveters is the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. They were absolutely packed this weekend, and we'll be packed for Monday Night Football tonight, so go check that out as well. The Lightning will be playing, so you get to watch both. I will be working the Lightning game tonight against the stinking Panthers. We had Brian Bradley on earlier. Brian seems to think there's going to be a little fisticuffs tonight. I was a little shocked that we didn't have them the last time we played them.
I wasn't as shocked last time because when both teams first played, they were both not going in the right direction. So it wasn't best, I thought, to get into some just sort of fisticuffs all night and turn that into not a hockey game. And I kind of feel the same way tonight because Florida, has got some work to do to get back into a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. And they're dealing with lots of injuries, so they can't afford to just go around headhunting and try to make this not a game and risk, being in the penalty box too much and stuff like that. And if you're the Lightning, I think the Lightning are still playing really well, and they're obviously in first place. It's just if they could play anybody not named Ilya Sorokin, that would be awesome. Because I think that's their number right now. I think I saw in the 3 games they played him in the span of 11 days, they had 200 something shot attempts on him and 60 something high danger chances, and they got 3 by him. Yeah. That's just insane. as standing on your head as you possibly can. So, but other than that, the Lightning, I think, are playing really good hockey still.
Nah, they're playing great hockey, and the fact that Chernak and McDonough and Hedman have not been part of this.
Yeah, and Lilleberg, Cooper announced that Lilleberg now he's out, and they're hoping to get him back by the Olympic break. So Santini was called up.
That long? Wow.
Yeah. He said week to week, and then he followed up with hope to get him back by the Olympic break. So that's a bit. So McDonough though is day to day, so he seems to be close.
He's back. Yeah.
But yeah, you're working with a skeleton crew back there, but they've been holding up more than fine.
Yeah, they've been really, really good, and whatever they're doing, just keep doing it. And Vasilevsky, we still don't know what this injury is. I have no idea. But JoJo's been playing great, but we got to get Vasi back as well because he was a huge part of the run.
JoJo has been – I hate that JoJo's not getting the run support, unfortunately, because – and I think I was listening to the pregame show before the game on Saturday against the Islanders, and Andrew Chuck and Coburn were talking. It's easy to forget Johansson's been in the league for a minute, and he's 30 years old, but he's only played 94 games. That's nothing. Like, Vasilevsky got 94 games in, a year and a half into his career. Yeah. That's a position that you need reps and you need shots. You need live action to sort of get into a feel of it. And maybe it's just now that he's getting consistent playing time, no matter the fact that he's 30 years old, he's just starting to figure it out finally. And he's turned himself into one of the better backup goalies in the NHL this season.
Yeah, and he's been carrying this team, and I guess we'll see him tonight. But Vasi was on the ice today, so he's close to coming back. So we may see him on Thursday night, I would think. So we shall see. A couple other questions here, non-Bucks related. David Terry says, "Why don't we go to Sperry for our quarterback, Florida State?" Listen, you recruited him. I like what I've seen from him in limited play. I don't know how many reps he got, but I mean, is he? I guess we're going forward with Gus.
That's what I was going to say. If you're, it seems like Gus is coming back, and does Sperry seem to fit that?
He can throw a hell of a lot better and he can throw over the middle better than Castellanos. And if Castellanos gets another year of eligibility, do we want him back?
Oh. They sound like they do.
Come on now.
It almost seems like I'm looking at this. I almost feel like they're just punting this year away. I feel like they're just punting this year away. Bringing Mike back, bringing Gus back, promoting from within at quarterback coach. No other it almost feels like only Surtain was the only coach that was fired.
And I thought he was one of our better coaches.
He was the best recruiter on the staff.
He was the best recruiter on the staff without question.
Yeah, it almost feels like they're just sort of punting this year, and they're just trying to continue to just get by.
The financial house in order.
Exactly. That's what I am feeling like what's going on here.
They don't even have a GM yet. I know. That was the play. They're going to rework the whole front office. But, maybe the guy that they're thinking about is involved in the playoffs or involved in the NFL. So that's all I can think of. But you better get your shit together and get something going because it's passing you by. That's for damn sure. And, what 5-star quarterback is going to want to come play for you? What great offensive coordinator is going to want to work on a staff that's pretty much dead man walking? It's just dysfunctional in every way. But also, you don't want to waste money on buyouts if you don't know who the next guy is and just go hire some, G5 guy or whatever. I don't know. But whatever, it doesn't look like Florida State has a plan right now. They may have one, but we're not seeing it executed. And the only thing we are seeing, none of it makes any sense to me, to your point, except the fact that they've got something that they're waiting on in the wings, and they don't want to move forward with anything else. Fair? I mean, that's all we can hope for at this point if you're an FSU person. Just wait to see what the plan is, and we're eagerly awaiting it. Listen, I've said this before. I have confidence in Alford. I think he's done a lot of good things in terms of getting the facilities done. He had no leverage on that buyout of the contract. And, there's a lot of people. Have you seen oh my God, how could Alford snoop around and try to get Lane Kiffin? What does that mean to Mike Norvell? I mean, are you serious? People are ripping on Alford for trying to go through back channels and get Lane Kiffin. But by the way, a story that we broke. Why? So all these ones that hate Mike Norvell are mad that Alford tried to hire Lane Kiffin. and get rid of Mike Norvell?
I'll rip him in the sense of, if your plan was we're gonna try to go get Lane Kiffin, even though you have nothing great to sell to Lane Kiffin in the year 2026, and if that doesn't work out, which I just never bought that was going to work out, then we're just good. We're good. No other coaches interest us. We'll just stay put. That I don't.
You don't want your AD swinging for the fences?
Swing for the fences by all means. But it seems like the way it was reported, it was like, well, they just tried to go get Lane Kiffin, and when they didn't get him, they were just like, well, we're not going to go take any more swings. That we're just going to stay put then if we don't get Lane. And it's like, how likely is it you were going to get Lane Kiffin?
Oh, I mean, you don't know that, and I don't know that, but people who do know what went on think that, yeah, there was a chance there. There was a chance there. So I don't know. Right now, there's no way you can really defend what's going on at Florida State. And, I've been told that there is a plan, and obviously they're limited by some of the financial issues that are going on. So I'm going to wait to hold my criticism until I see what the plan is.
Well, at least the basketball program looks good.
Do they?
Did anybody see the result this past weekend?
I lost interest when I went to the Texas A&M game.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, so you missed them losing to UMass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How bad was
great.
it?
Soccer school. It was 100. It was like 105 to 95 or something like that. Soccer school though. 5 national championships in 11 years for the ladies.
How about
soccer
that?
School.
Fantastic. Way to go, ladies. As Jameis said, our best football team.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we need to get to today? I mean,
you said you had some NFL notes you wanted to hit.
Well, Mahomes going down is so interesting. It's the script writers are definitely going to have to work overtime now, because this whole. I mean, I want to go. The Patriots looked really, really good, and then they didn't look really, really good. So I wonder, was that just Josh Allen, or was there something there that was exposed? I think, and to somebody's point in the comments, I forget who said it, but it's just look at the coaching in this league. Coaching changes matter, especially in New England. Oh my Lord! Look at what's going on in Jacksonville. Look what's going on in Carolina. There are teams that are turning it around with
Denver's 12-2 in year 3 of Sean Payton. 12-2 in year 3.
And remember when Sean took over, it wasn't great. I said, "Don't worry, he'll figure it out. He's too good a coach. He'll figure it out."
Shanahan, San Francisco's another one. 10-4. 10-4.
With all those injuries, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, coaching really freaking matters. And right now, the Bucs are not getting the benefit of the doubt in that deal at all. I mean, well, they're getting what they're paid for, frankly. Joel Fortland says the Kiffin story was BS. All for just trying to have some face with that leak. No, it's not BS. I can tell you unequivocally, Joel, it is not BS, and I know for a fact. Not only had he had Lane Kiffin this time, he almost had him before. And that's when Norvell was retained. If Norvell went to Alabama, Lane Kiffin was coming to Florida State. I stand by that. And that's why Alford thought that he could get him again, because he had him the first time. So, yeah, that could be. And that's not just from Alford, that's from other sources as well. So that wasn't the Lane. This was not the first time the Lane was looking at leaving Ole Miss. Trust me on that deal. So,
it would be great. It'd be very uplifting to the. I guess this is my last note of the day here. I'll give a little snippet of Rays talk here, because things seem to be moving. I don't know if you've been seeing it, JP, but you see all these reports coming about the Rays in on Ketel Marte.
Yeah, something big's coming.
It feels like this is brewing, and it might be just in terms of how you could figure out the compensation here.
Yeah.
But if the Rays, and I saw I don't know, I'm sure you saw Pepio and Baz were mentioned in a package deal potentially. I personally would love to do the deal without giving up Ryan Pepio, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yes.
But
agreed.
I also can't sit here and go after the Rays for years of not taking that big swing to go get that big bat that we've been looking for.
Right.
And then when they do it, go, well, why did you give up this? Ketel Marte is one of the top 15, 20 players in all of baseball, and he's under a contract for like the next 5 or 6 years, basically the rest of his career.
Right.
Like, I would be ecstatic if they're able to get that over the finish line, but I know that there's a lot of competition for him.
Yeah. I just get a sense that something big is coming, don't you? Like, this team, the way it's constructed right now is weird with all the outfielders that they have, left-handed hitting outfielders, and there's just, it doesn't seem to be, and Neander said that the other day. It's like, hey, we're 3 months from opening day. This is not the team we're going to have. So I do think he's setting up to make a big move, which I'm excited about.
And it feels like the moves they've made already with Steven Matz, and they gave Steven Matz money that kind of suggests that he's going to go back to being a starter because he was more of a reliever last year. The money he got 2 years, 14, that sounds like he's going to be a starter. Cedric Mullins, I mean, he doesn't move the needle much for me, that particular move. But I understand you're just trying to raise the floor of your outfield, which was abysmal last year. Right. But my point is, it's like you acquired 2 veterans. It seems like they are not, like they're trying to win is kind of how I take it from that. But there needs to be like that big move that kind of supports that. And also, if they go get Ketel Marte, then that signals that they're probably going to trade Brandon Lau.
Yeah, no, which we think they are. And that's going to open up second base for Ketel Marte. Or then what do you do with Chandler Simpson? I do not want to get rid of his bat, his offensive presence. And
no, he'll be on the team. He'll be on the team, but he's not going to be an everyday player. But I don't think I need him.
How is he not an everyday player? He hits 300 from both sides of the plate, and he's the ultimate offensive weapon at the top of the lineup. You've got to find a place for this guy. What's that face? What do you got going with that face there?
I'm not saying that I don't mind Chandler Simpson being an everyday player, but his defense he's got to get better on defense. That's for sure. Like, he's got to continue to grow and listen. But if you have an opportunity to get someone else in that position that has a little more offensive upside, I'm saying I'm not going to let Chandler Simpson get in the way of that. But I still want Chandler Simpson to have a role on this team for all the other things.
We got to find a way. No, I'm not saying don't make that deal because you want to move Chandler Simpson back to second base, his natural position. I'm saying I got to have him. I got to get him 500 at bats. I got to get him 500 at bats. He's too good a player. Yeah. All right, boys and girls, that'll do it for this Monday. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need to get some more subscriptions there. That would help, guys. And please like this broadcast as well. That helps our analytics. And don't forget about the podcast, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts, you can download this sucker and listen to it anytime, anywhere. 2 hours of Tampa Bay sports-centric talk each and every day. Thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow.